Hi Cat People, here's a quick tutorial on how to import components from a manufacturer. A lot of our suppliers publish their CAD models on their websites, and so instead of having to model them up from scratch, we can just go download them and use them ourselves. The example that I'm going to give you is downloading a gusset plate from Vex Pro. So I've opened up a web browser, and we can go to vexpro.com. Once we're there, ones we're looking for, there's a bunch of different components here, gearboxes and motors and various different kinds of things, wheels, gears, anyway, but we're going to go under VersaFrame, then VersaFrame Gussets and Mounts. And you can see Vex Pro supplies a bunch of different varieties here. You have different angles, different kinds of arrangements of holes. Here's a cross one. This one can put some bearings in the end if you want to make a swivelly kind of arm thing. Anyway, the one we're interested in today, though, is just your standard right angle 90-degree bracket. And so we can see here that the part number for that is 2173548. So if we scroll down now to the bottom of the page, different manufacturers may put their models in different places, so sometimes you have to hunt around a little bit. But luckily, the Vex Pro ones at least are all in the same place here. So we can go down to Downloads and Docs. Sometimes theirs are actually in a tab called 3D Model, but in this case it's Downloads and Docs. And we said our number was 3548. We can see that's here. It gives us clarification of its 90-degree gusset. So we'll go ahead and click that. And then it's going to download what's called a step file, which is kind of a generic format for CAD models to be put in. A bunch of different software can open this kind of file. Unfortunately, Solidworks can't work with these directly, so our first step is going to have to be to convert these. But before that, go ahead and download the file. And when Vex gives them to us, they put it in a zip file here, a compressed file. So then we need to open that up and go ahead and extract the file here. So you can come up and say right click and extract all. We now have our step file that's been extracted there. So if we go back to SolidWorks, we're going to come up to the open file. Go find where we downloaded our step file in the extracted place. Open that step file there. We'll do some processing. Sometimes if it's a more complex part, it'll take longer. Then it's going to ask you two questions here. It's going to first say, do you want to run import diagnostics? We can click no. And the next one it will say, do you want to proceed with feature recognition? Sometimes if the part's made kind of wonky, you may want to click yes, but that gets more complicated. So in most cases, you can just click no. Try it with no first. If things go horribly, horribly wrong, try the feature recognition and you may get some better options. Okay, once that's fully opened now, we need to go ahead and save it. What this is going to do is it's going to take that file that's been converted from step, and it's going to now save it as a SolidWorks part so that we can use it in other assemblies and other mechanisms, that kind of a thing. So we can just go ahead and save it. I'm going to just save it where I downloaded it. If you're dealing with a bunch of different files, you probably want to establish some sort of nice directory structure for holding all your different parts. But since it's just a single example here, then it doesn't matter so much, I guess. To show how we can use that now, we'll go ahead and create a new assembly. You can see it's hopefully opened this begin assembly box here, and we can see there's a couple different options. This first one here, you can see it's our 3548. So that's our part that we opened before, or that we just converted, rather. So you can click out here in the middle, and that will throw that down. You can get to the same thing again if you've already started an assembly and you want to add additional parts to it. You can get to the same kind of adding parts option if you go to this Insert Components button up here on the Assembly tab, so you can click there and you can see we're in the same place again, so we can add additional ones here. Kind of a pro tip, if you're trying to add a whole bunch of parts at the same time, you can come up here and click this little push pin button. If I don't push that, I put one part in, you can see it closes the Insert Components menu, which is kind of annoying, but if I come and click the push pin first, then I can drop a whole bunch of components in quick succession, which makes it a lot faster to kind of start our assembly here. Anyway, we've added way too many gussets now, so let's go and delete a few of those. Now we need something to assemble our gussets with. So let's go find our piece of 1x1 box tubing that we made in the previous tutorial. If I can find where I saved it. Solidworks has this handy open recent parts feature that I'll go ahead and make use of now. Hopefully you are able to better track your parts than I am. Now if we go back to Insert Components in our assembly, you can see that it's added 1x1 here. Basically, this box here shows you all the parts or assemblies that are currently open in Solidworks. You don't necessarily have to open them first. You can go down to this Browse button and then find your part or assembly and insert it that way, but didn't work out for me this time, so we'll just do it this way instead. So I'll go ahead and put a couple of these 1x1 pieces of tubing in there, and we can quickly add some mates. If you need a refresher on doing mates, go back and look at the basic assembly tutorial that you did last time. But we can quickly throw these together here. We've done some face mates, some coincident mates, and then we can use some concentric mates on the holes here. Lined up the part there, and you can do another one down here at the second. That one is lined up there. We can do the same thing for our other piece of tubing. There. Grab this one here. One thing to note is that on the Vex Pro gussets, the hole spacing is every ½ inch, but on the tubing it's every 1 inch. So you'll need to skip a hole in the middle. Put it there. Now everything's lined up. Get ourselves a nice 90-degree joint here. If we wanted to make it even more robust, as is probably advisable, we could put another gusset on the other side here. But I'll let you guys work that out yourselves. So there you go. Importing a part from an outside supplier and then using it to make ourselves an assembly.